everyone. Welcome. It is Bible study time. Yay! Super duper excited about coming forward with a thought-provoking Bible study for you guys. I'm going to anoint myself with some of my oil. Really quick, my oil line is coming very soon. It's coming soon, you guys. So be on the lookout. We are going to be speaking to the book of Matthew again today. We're going to be speaking to chapter 10. We're going to read from chapter 10, verse 5 through verse 20. And we will go forward from there. So I'm going to invoke the Spirit of God to activate Himself in this space, and then we will get into it. Heavenly Father, I come before you in love, looking for you. I ask that you use me today and every day as your vessel to speak your truth to the children. Lessen me and magnify you in this space today. Protect this space and bind up any energies that are not conducive to the success and the truth and the integrity of my conversation. In love, I come before you, giving you thanks and honor for all that you are, all that you will be, and all that you always have been. In God's name I pray. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, y'all. Okay, so let's get it. Chapter 5, verse 10. Chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the city of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. And as ye go, preach, saying, The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out the devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. Provide neither gold, nor silver, nor brass in your purses, nor scrip for your journey. Neither two coats, neither shoes, nor staves, for the workman is worthy of his meat. And into whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. And when you come into a house, salute it. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come unto it. But if it be not worthy, let your peace return to you. And whosoever shall not receive you, nor hear your words, when ye depart out of that house or city, shake off the dust of your feet. Verily I say unto you, it shall be more tolerable for the land of Sodom and Gomorrah in the day of judgment than for that city. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. But beware of men, for they will deliver you up to the councils, and they will scourge you in their synagogues. And ye shall be brought before governors and kings for my sake, for a testimony against them and the Gentiles. But when they deliver you up, take no thought how or what ye shall speak, for it shall be given you in that same hour what ye shall speak. For it is not ye that speak, but the Spirit of your Father which speaketh in you. Hallelujah. All right, y'all. So, all right, Jesus has come forth. I don't need to rewind. You can look at the past Bible studies. I've gone in great detail into some thought-provoking conversations that you don't really see on social media regarding Jesus and his entry into the scene in this book of Matthew. So at this point, Jesus has acquired his 12. Jesus has his 12 disciples. He has a unit. He has multiplied himself amongst these 12 people. Jesus knows that he cannot do all of God's work by himself, that he needs a unit. No man, no woman is an island unto themselves. Yet, he doesn't go searching for these group of people. They come upon Jesus along Jesus's walk in life. And they show themselves as interested in being a part of what Jesus is doing. And Jesus, with open arms, receives them. And for doing so, They got to a point where they all are a unit. He has 12. He didn't get one and then bless them with certain gifts. He didn't get the other and bless them with certain gifts. He waited till he got his 12. And then when he got his 12, I'll read it. This is chapter 10, verse 1. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So while Jesus has acquired his 12, and of course the 12 that he's acquired has seen all the miracles Jesus has done along the way. These 12 he didn't just meet and were oblivious to Jesus. These 12 he met because of what he had done along the way in his travels. So it's fair to say that they bought in because they had heard the rumors of what Jesus did in the world, in the community, and they came to see for themselves, and in seeing, they made themselves available, and Jesus said, come follow me. Now he has the 12 as a unit. He says, okay, we're at a place now, I got the head count up. I have the number that I need to make things happen. Now I will bless you with gifts. Now I am ready to get to a place to multiply myself in the world by way of those 12. So out of the one, Jesus now is 12. Okay? So now Jesus is giving them the power. See, look, I'm not going to get ahead of myself. Now Jesus is giving them the power of what he has known, what he was born with, and what he acquired while in the world by way of all of the people that nurtured him along the way, especially his mother and his Gnostic knowledge. He's given them sacred knowledge, the knowledge of and the power to cast out spirits, to wage war with unclean spirits, to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease. So now they're empowered. They didn't have this knowledge before this. I told you, Israel is in a terrible state. All of Israel's prophets have been either murdered or have gone underground. It's not fashionable to come forward saying you're a prophet. No, you get a bullseye on your back. You cannot do that. So they're wandering. Why do I say that they're wandering? Chapter 9, verse 36. Well, let's go to 35. Chapter 9, verse 35. And Jesus went about all the cities and villages, teaching in their synagogues and preaching the gospel of the kingdom and healing every sickness and every disease among the people. But when he saw the multitudes, he was moved with compassion on them because they fainted and were scattered abroad as sheep having no shepherd. Listen to this, 37. Then said he unto his disciples, the harvest truly is plenteous, but the laborers are few. Verse 38, pray ye therefore the Lord of the harvest, that he will send forth laborers into his harvest. Now that's a whole nother conversation, but I'm not going to get into that. But I will speak to the high notes of that. Israel doesn't have a shepherd. Israel is scattered like sheep on a mountain. They're lost. They have no direction. They've lost their footing. I said in the last Bible study that the Gentiles, at this point, all the nations that are not inheritant of the promise of the house of Israel, are more inclined to meet the fathers, Abram, Isaac, and Jacob in heaven than the children are. Because the children have fallen in ignorance. just as we have today. So Jesus is coming forth and Jesus is saying, okay, I got 12 of you. We got to get busy. I am going to bless you with this knowledge. I'm going to give you knowledge to heal the sick. I'm going to give you knowledge to wage war with unclean spirits. I'm going to give you knowledge to cast out the spirits of disease and sickness. He's given them knowledge as to how to control these demonic spirits, because that's exactly what these are. He's doing what Solomon was supposed to do, but got turned by these same spirits. Jesus is doing it, and he's multiplying himself amongst these 12. Because Jesus is very smart. Jesus knows that it will be easy for these spirits, these leaders of these spirits are very wise. They're smart. The spiritual realm is crafty, friend. Crafty. What do I mean by crafty? What is crafty? Crafty is creative. Crafty finds a way. Crafty comes up with new little ideas. Crafty comes up with ingenious things in relation to approaching something that we see every day. That is these spirits. They're relentless. They never stop trying. When you look at a television, I remember when I was a little girl, and at a certain time at night, the TVs would go blank, and it would just look like this black and white fuzz, and it would make this noise. Y'all remember that? And it looked like just black and white chaos on the screen, if you look real close enough. That's kind of like what's going on. It's a battle. It's chaos. And whoever can overcome the other first wins. That is exactly what's going on. So when you see these demons and the demonic realm constantly trying and trying because they have no other choice, that is the program we're in. Father, please cover me and show me the way to effectively speak this, simplify it, and speak it like water. So when you see Jesus coming forth, and he says to the disciples, after he empowers them with the knowledge, he equips them with the knowledge to go out and make change in the world, go out and wage war against these entities. And when you see him doing this, why do I say that he came to wage war with these entities? We're going to skip over to chapter 10, verse 34. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Jesus came forth. This is why I say, everybody wants to make it seem like Jesus came forward with this, knock me around and do anything you want to with me, and I'm still going to hug you kind of thing. In a way, he did come forward with that analogy. But Jesus was coming forth to reestablish the truth. To come forth to reestablish the truth. Not to harm people, but because things had gotten so political. The children were lost. They didn't really know what role they played in the bigger scheme of things. You had all the other nations, the Gentile nations, perpetuating their desires upon the children and pretty much pimping the house of Israel. This is what was going on. They had infiltrated the house. all things that were sacred had been infiltrated and flipped up to justify them coming in. They had rewritten the law of Moses, subcategorized it, created all kind of extra stuff that wasn't there. They had made themselves members within the house of Israel, which was heretical, could never have happened in the Old Testament. These are all the nations that had seen the might of God upon these people throughout their many walks, and they wanted to be a part of the group. But they couldn't because you had to be born into it. It was a birthright kind of thing. And then Jesus comes forth in the last Bible study or the one before when he speaks to the soldier. And he says, look at you. You have so much faith in me and you aren't even an Israelite. And he's speaking words of power to this soldier, not to condemn him. This should tell you that Jesus wasn't a racist. He wasn't racist. And we got to get out of this mindset. Whenever you say the truth, it makes people feel like, oh, well, you're not including me and you must not like me. It's not that. We got to just look at things for what they are and speak to them. If we're going to speak the truth, we got to talk the truth. And if the truth makes you feel like, left out or not worthy, then honestly, you've got to do some work on yourself to build that aspect of yourself up. We got to get to that. I did the video yesterday about the movie I saw. About, this individual going out in life, traumatized, suffering from his own trauma, and then he goes and he becomes successful in the world, and he begins to traumatize other people. And then wipes their memory as if he's doing them a favor to justify the righteous side of his mind. He's traumatizing people to give the demons that are attacking him freedom, which gives him temporary relief. And then on the other hand, he provides an anecdote which allows the people to forget it even happened, which then he thinks in his mind, appeases to the righteous side of himself. But all he's doing is harming people. It's the same way. Instead of him just taking the time to heal his own self, taking the time to honor his part in the problem, he would rather create a whole fake scenario to keep perpetuating this nonsense on other people. It is the same way when you look at this. It's the same thing. And it's the same way we're in right now when we look at this situation now. When anyone speaks to the truth of this, fundamental truth of this, some people will feel like, oh, well, you're not, you didn't say it in the way that it made me feel included, and now I don't feel included, and now, I don't know how to take it, and I don't know if I like you, and it's like, I'm not. It's not that you're not included. It's just that I'm telling the truth. I'm just telling the truth of the story. This is. We're gonna see how this goes. So Jesus comes forth after he empowers the disciples with this knowledge to cast out devils. Because, like I said in the Bible study before, in the podcast before, these devils have run rampant. They're running rampant, y'all. I hate to boggle you down with analogies, but I got to give you another one. Think of you getting abducted. No, let's just say this. Just think of you get taken to another part of the world, remote, and the system of things that you grew up in. You know how things are here. If you have a dog like myself, You know, your dog is lovable, and you're supposed to be able to feed your dog, provide your dog, you know, fundamentals and things of that nature. But if you get moved to another part of the world, same dog, they got the same kind of dogs, same environment, we breathe, we got plants, same situation. But these people adhere to another way. They believe that the dog should have the rights that you have, and you should have the rights that the dog has. So before you eat, the dog eats. You laying on the floor, the dog is on the sofa. You know, all this kind of stuff. Everything's reversed. And you wouldn't know, the people that you encounter don't know anything is wrong with that. Right? Nope, you don't know that. The only person that know that is the head of the dogs. And now you come and you're like, this ain't the way this is supposed to go. Fido, sit. And that dog will sit. It's the same way with these demons. They're attacking the people. They are infesting every area of life because the people don't know their role. And so because of ignorance, they suffer. They suffer because they don't know their role in the scheme of things. Now Jesus comes on the scene, and Jesus knows his role. Jesus knows how to put them in their place. Just them seeing Jesus, they can tell by his vibration, because these demons see in the unseen. Jesus is vibrating in a different way. His whole color spectrum is glowing in a different way. So on sight, they know this is the Son of God activated. This is the Son of God activated, and I'm not going to be able to pull this nonsense on him. And they corral amongst one another, and his word is out. All the miracles are being done. All the demons he's casting out are running and telling all the other demons, I just got casted out. Man, we ain't been casted out in 1,000 years. It's this one dude. We got to do something about him. And now he has multiplied himself amongst 12. So he's told all his 12 brethren, all the other disciples, that the knowledge as to how to do this, the knowledge as to how to keep yourself in alignment so that you are worthy to do all of these miracles. And after he does that, he comes upon them and he gives them direction. He says, then the 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them. He didn't ask them. See, this is another way. This is it. When you speak, you got to say it. I just talked about the word. The word isn't, I don't care. Yeah. Okay. What you want to do? You got any ideas? What are we going to do tomorrow? I don't know. That's not the word. The word is go. I am, whatever that is. And you got to know it. It comes like a command. It's matter of fact. There's no question to it. It's not up for debate. These 12, Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go, not in the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not, but go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel. Why did he do that? Why? Now, this is for all of you people that are going to feel some kind of way about what I said about Jesus not being a racist, and you're going to say, well, why did she even have to say that? You know, all that kind of stuff. Jesus, in this sentence, said go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel, instead of going to the Gentiles or to the Samaritans. He didn't say that because, he's racist, or, he's biased, and he's caught up into some old scenario that happened in the Old Testament, and he wants to seek revenge and all. No, he's saying that because the Samaritans aren't lost. The Gentiles not lost like the Israel's lost, friend. All of these people know exactly who the God of Israel is. These are the same people whose forefathers wished that they could be of this house. So they studied them. They sat at their kitchen tables amongst their families and shared stories about the greatness of these people. They sat at the feet of these people and watched them close. They know the law. They know the movement of these people. They admired these people. I'm telling you, all Israel's enemies that they walked through were afraid of them. They were enemies because they were afraid. They didn't want to be overcome. They didn't want to give up their land. And they wanted really to be cool with them. They didn't want to be cool, like, oh, let's just be friends. They wanted to be a part of it. And just like anybody that wants to be a part of something, but you can't, there's no way in, well, let's try to destroy it. Let's try to get rid of it. I'd rather not see it. I'd rather not see it than to just deal with seeing it, because seeing it is going to make me long to want to be it, and I could never be it. So it's easier for me to deal with not seeing it than it is to see it paraded around me in its greatness, because I've never seen anything like it in this world. There's nothing to compare it to. There's nobody that can even compete at that level. It was that kind of thing. So Jesus is sending the disciples to the house of Israel. Why? Because the house of Israel does not know themselves. They've been wiped of all heritage. This is the problem. These demons and these nations working with these demons have found ways to rob the children. They know that they can't get at them one-on-one, face-to-face, head up. They can't get at them like that. So they're crafty. I told you, these demons are crafty. So what they do is they look at you for a long time and they watch you. And they devise ways for you to sabotage yourself. And they've kept Israel in a perpetual state of transgression. So much so that they've been out of the law so long that Israel has looked to go through these lesser gods to make life easier for themselves. Please look at my previous Bible studies, you guys. I build on my Bible studies. So now Israel's completely out of line, out of alignment. They bowed to various gods. God has turned his back on them in a way. He silenced himself. Now Jesus is on the scene. It's a new season. Jesus is now speaking life. He's saying, okay, you have suffered enough. God has sent me to send you a cool breeze in the midpoint of the day, to give you some rest, to give you a second wind. I need you to go out and teach them the fundamentals. Cast out all the unclean spirits. Why unclean spirits? Why would unclean spirits be in them? Because they have made relationships with the fallen ones, with the demons. I told you the word. They don't have a body. They can't speak. So they make pacts with these spirits. Okay, I will let your wife have children because God closed her womb up. I'll show you the science on how you can do that. You do this for me. Let me into your vessel. So they began doing these things. Oh, you wanna buy that land over there? You don't have any cattle? I know how to get you cattle and land. I'll make you successful. Let me into your kingdom. What is your kingdom? Your mind, your body, your voice, your hand. Let me have full reign in your kingdom, and I'll give you some stuff in this kingdom, in the earth. And they've gone for it. So much so that they've lost their footing. They've forgotten all the fundamentals that keep them in alignment to God. They're using the power of God in them because that's what's making them so important to these fallen ones. It is the power of God in them. If the essence of God wasn't in them, they would be of no use to these demons. The essence of God in them is what the demons lack. This is what I was speaking to when I was doing the Bible study, and I said God was pleading with the children. He's like, please just hear me. You're dragging me through all your nonsense. I got to walk through this mess with you. You think I'm somewhere far off. You've forgotten the fundamentals. I'm right inside of you. I'm the power within you. And you're pimping me out to these other people. And the only way I can stop you from doing it is to destroy you. Because I've given you free will. You got the choice to do it however you want to. But never in a million years did I think you'd ever do this. I never thought it would get to this. Because I gave you free will. And I gave these demons free will. And now you've all betrayed me. And you're using me to do that which is completely contradictory to anything I am. So Jesus sends his disciples forth straight to the house of Israel because the house of Israel are squandering in their nonsense. Everything's been reversed. The Gentiles are adhering to the law of Israel far greater than the children of Israel. The children of Israel are out here bowing to gods that are not of the house because they're out of alignment with God, just as Eve was and Adam was, and God cursed the land, and they made it hard for them to procreate and hard for them to harvest food. So they began working with these fallen ones. The children are just doing the same thing. Yet the Gentiles, the ones that were never part of the inheritance, say, we got an opportunity here now. We can actually replace them. What if we started adhering to the promise? What if we show God that we are worthy and keep them in a perpetual state of transgression? We might be able to take their place. Just as when the shaitans and the jinns were created and they fell, and God created them to take their place. We could be next up. It's a theory. And as ye go, preach, saying, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Heal the sick, cleanse the lepers, raise the dead, cast out devils. Freely ye have received, freely give. As I have given you all this knowledge, don't hoard it to yourselves. Don't be pompous and boastful and say, I know all of this, I'm going to keep it to myself. Go out and have compassion upon your brothers and sisters and speak with everything you got in you, the truth. Proclaim it. Do not fear them. Surely they will come for you. You got to know your role. This is a small thing. Small team, this. As small team. Go and do God's will in the earth. And Jesus goes on and tells them, don't worry about what direction you go. Don't worry about what shoes you got on. Don't worry about if your feet gonna get muddy. Don't worry about what food you got. Don't worry about having any money in your pocket. I will provide a way for you. My Father, our Father, not just my Father, not just mine, because I gave you the Lord's Prayer. I said, our Father. You're not a bastard. My Father is your Father. I came here to reinstill our Father in your minds and in your hearts. This is our Father. And all these things I'm doing, I'm showing you, you can do. Look it, I just showed you how to cast out devils. I showed you how to heal the sick. I showed you how to raise the dead. Yo. Stop looking for a Messiah. You're the Messiah. It's you. How many times do I have to tell you? It's you. But see, the problem is that it being you makes you have to work. And many of us got one foot in dealing with these fallen ones and one foot in with Jesus. And one foot in with the God that Jesus came proclaiming. Because we want to put everything on Jesus. And this is nothing against Jesus. Look, I'm up in here preaching the gospel. You're not going to sit up here and do me like the Pharisees did Jesus and say, oh, well, what did she say? Oh, she must mean this. Oh, what did she say? Oh, you're not going to do me like that. Jesus came forth speaking the truth of God to the children. Period. In a first person perspective. He said, look at me here. Look at me. He knows how these children are programmed. How many of us now, whether grown or when we were young, looked at TV or entertainment and saw people that we wanted to be like? All of us. That's how we're programmed. Jesus knows this. God knows this. This is why God sent Jesus. To show you in a real life perspective. Just as you see that celebrity on TV, on stage, doing his thing or her thing, and you say, dang, I want to do that. This is Jesus. But somehow we've gotten to a place where we feel like, oh, I could never do that. I could never aspire to something like that. I'm just going to leave that over there with Jesus and let Jesus handle all of that. And I'm just going to praise. I'm just going to praise. I'm going to thank you, Jesus. I'm going to give Jesus all of my burdens, all of the stuff that I could actually do myself. I'm going to put it all on Jesus and say, Jesus, do all of this for me. And I don't do anything but just ask. Father, I don't know how you're moving, but I sure feel you moving up in here, baby. I can smell you. Whew. He goes further. He says, in whatsoever city or town ye shall enter, inquire who in it is worthy, and there abide till ye go thence. Stay there until you decide to move forward. And if the house be worthy, let your peace come upon it. But if it not be worthy, let your peace return to you. He's saying, don't cast your pearls at the feet of swine. Many of you watching this video will think, I don't know what you think. I hope you think, wow, that sister really loves us, whether Jew or Gentile. I hope you think, wow, that sister really loves God. Wow, that sister really is looking to get the most out of this life. But if you're not, for whatever reason, I encourage you to go to another channel. Because you're not worthy of what I have to offer you. This ain't no sale rack. This is not, let me change for you. This ain't that. This is not that. This is a place to expound upon the word. And I welcome communications. I'm not fixed and not bendable. I'm not like that. I'm a truth seeker. But the word says, you need to look for who is worthy of your gifts. You don't cast your pearls at the feet of swine. You're not a beggar. You're not running around here begging folk to do this and to do that. If you got to sit alone, friend, you got to sit alone. But when you sit alone in your totality. When people look at you, people need to look and see your Father. And they need to see the essence of your Father in you. And it should be respectful. They shouldn't look at you and pity you and say, well, no. No, even if you don't agree with this, you're going to have to respect it. Behold, I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Yes. You must know who you're with. Who you with? What house you from? Do you know the power of your house? It goes back to the analogy of the dog and the person. You're parading around here and allowing things to happen to you. You've allowed the reversal. Everything is reversed. Okay. This is my Bible study today. This is Jesus. This is Jesus as I know Jesus. And I'm not leaning in on anything outside of the Word of God. Period. Jesus came forth. Jesus, the son of Mary. Came forth with fundamental truths that had been lost along the way. I love you. You're loved more than you'll ever know. Until next time, peace and love.